Welcome to working backwards, the George family problem. And as you can see from the video so far, the fraction monster came and ate all the fractions in this problem again. So hopefully you're following along with your worksheet packet, and it's not going to be that much of a problem. I tried to write them in, but it's kind of being problematic to read this. So this is going to work the same way that the Mary Lou problem did, and it's going to work the same way that that Bubba problem worked as well. So I'm going to model it using the same thing. So I'm just going to read and draw my arrow diagram and take you through how I would do this. So the George family piled into their motorhome and began a short vacation to visit as many states as they could in 4 weeks. So they're going to have to travel through some states. I'm just going to draw a state. This is going to represent the total amount of states that they go through total. So the first week they traveled through 1/7 of the total number of states. So they're going through 1/7 of the total number of states in that first week, and they're going to be at some, we'll call this state number 2. It doesn't really matter. And once again, if they travel through 1/7 of the states, they didn't travel through 6/7 of those states. So we're thinking about that. Okay. Now, they traveled through 1/7 of those in the first week. And in the second week, they traveled through 1/3 of the remaining states. So they went through 1/3 of the states, and then they had less states that they were going to travel through. And once again, if they traveled through 1/3 of the states they're going to see, that means that they didn't go through 2/3 of the states that they were going to see. Okay, the third week they spent constantly driving and looking at sites from the inside of their motorhome and visited 7/8 of the remaining states. Okay, so here they visited 7/8 of the total amount of states they had left to visit, which means if they visited 7/8, they didn't visit 1/8 of the states. So we have that. And then they had a long trip and slowed down that final week and visited 3 states. So in the very end, they had 3 states that they were going to visit. So that means we have a 3 on the end of there. So we started with a number of states we're going to go through, went through 7 of those. Then we had less states we're going to go through, went through 1/3 of those. Less states we're going to go through, went through 7/8 of that. And then the last week we only visited, or the George family only visited 3 states. So working backwards once again, we know that 1/8 of this state number 3 is 3. That is the number of states we had left. So we can say that 1/8 of 3 equals 3. To get rid of this 1/8, because we divide by fraction here, because this is 1/8 times states that we're going to visit in that week. Excuse me. So 1/8 times, we undo multiplication with division, but when we divide fractions, we really multiply by the reciprocal. So here we're multiplying by the reciprocal, 8/1. Multiply this by 8/1. Here the 8's cancel, the 1's cancel. So the number of states they had left to go here, 8 times 3, is 24. So right here, in this week, they had 24 states they were going to travel. 7/8 they saw. So now 7/8 of 24 is 21. So they visited 21 states. They had those 3 states left. So that's exactly how this is working. Okay. Now we know we were going to visit 24 more states here. But this 24 states represents 2/3 of the states we're going to visit there. Because at the end of this week, or this actual week, we visited 1/3, meaning we didn't visit 2/3 of those states. So here, once again, 2/3 of the states we visited in that week is going to equal our 24. Put a line here to denote that we're not working over there. Now, once again, because we're multiplying, the way we undo multiplying by a fraction is multiply by the reciprocal, and we're going to multiply both sides by this 3/2. When we do this, our 3's cancel, our 2's cancel. So the number of states that we had left at this point, 2 goes into 24 12 times. Leaving us a 1 here. 12 times 3 is 36. So we were going to go through 36 more states than we had there. And notice, 1/3 of 36 right here, 1/3 of that is 12. So we went through 12 states that week, and we didn't go through 24. So if we took 12 away from that, we got there. Now, The first week, we went through a seventh of them, meaning we didn't go through 6/7. So the total number of states that we're going to go through, 6/7 of the total number of states equals this 36. 6/7 is how much we had left, and we had 36 states left. So we can say 6/7 of the total number of states equals 36. Once again, we're multiplying by the reciprocal to get rid of the 6/7. So 7, 6, 7, 6. Cancel, cancel. So the total number of states we're going to go through, 6 goes into 6, 36, excuse me, 6 times. There's a 1. 7 times 6 is 42. So the total number of states that we're going to go through is 42. So we can say that the George family visited 42 total states. And that is exactly how the George family problem works. So now I'm going to go ahead and just continue on and do the Mr. Sweet Tooth problem as well. So we're going to do the Sweet Tooth problem. It doesn't look like I have enough space here, but who knows? We're going to give it a shot anyway. So I'll go ahead and take that up. So while preparing for a probability math problem, Mr. Sweet Tooth decided to use a large bag of Skittles for the demonstration. So I know that we're going to have a large bag of Skittles, and really I'm going to skip the end. We're going to do this. So we have the large bag of Skittles. So he had the students get into small groups of 5 students each and divide the large bag into 7 equal smaller bags of Skittles. Okay? The first group distributed the Skittles by giving the first student I feel like we're missing something. Well, it looks like the fraction monster ate these again, so I'm just going to upload this video, fix this with the fractions, and then come back to it and do the last 2 problems. Sorry about that.